Shortwave Radio. Hear the difference.
Now the news. I'm Shane Bigham. Official data shows that China's gross domestic product posted 5.2% growth in 2023, higher than the annual target of around 5%. The National Bureau of Statistics said the country's GDP reached a record of over 126 trillion yuan, or roughly 17.7 trillion US dollars last year. In the fourth quarter, the Chinese economy expanded 5.2%. The country's value-added industrial output went up 4.6%. Retail sales of consumer goods climbed 7.2%, and fixed asset investment went up 3% during the period. Premier Li Qiang says investing in China will bring huge returns and a better future. He attended a luncheon hosted by World Economic Forum Chairman Klaus Schwab and exchanged views with heads of multinational companies. He said the long-term positive trend of China's economy will not change, which will provide more opportunities for enterprises of all countries. He said China's always been a staunch supporter of multilateralism. Meantime, the Chinese premiers met with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in Davos. Li Qiang told von der Leyen that China is willing to work with the EU to implement the consensus reached in the China-EU summit and make bilateral ties more stable, constructive, reciprocal, and global. Von der Leyen said the EU appreciates China's continuous opening up and does not intend to decouple from China. And the EU is ready to push for further development of relations. The Chinese premier has also met with Singaporean President Tharman Shanmugaratnam and said China is willing to work with Singapore to create new cooperation achievements in various fields. Shanmugaratnam said Singapore sticks to the One China principle and firmly opposes any remarks or acts for Taiwan independence. Premier Li has arrived in Dublin for an official visit to Ireland. Upon arrival, he said relations and cooperation between the two nations enjoy broad prospects and great potential. The Parliament of Nauru has passed a motion to restore full diplomatic relations with China. This comes just a day after the country announced that it would recognize the One China principle and sever ties with the Taiwan region. The Chinese Foreign Ministry has welcomed the decision while reiterating its firm opposition to Taiwan independence. A mainland official says communications between the mainland and Taiwan must be based on the 1992 consensus, which recognizes the One China principle. Spokesperson Chen Binhua from the State Council's Taiwan Affairs Office says reunification is at the center of China's core interests. Xiao Yunfei has details.
We emphasize the historical facts of the One China principle and the international consensus of it. He serves as a trend of times, according to the spokesperson. Well, Nauru's decision came just 2 days after Taiwan's Democratic Progressive Party authorities declared its victory over the regional leadership election. Just the answer from the spokesperson really gives an idea that you have to look at the results of the election from multiple fields, given the fact that although Lai Ching-te, the leader of the DPP, has claimed victory at the leadership election. The party got fewer votes compared with the election 4 years ago. But if you look at the 113-seat legislature election, the DPP garnered 51 seats, while the Chinese Kuomintang garnered 52 seats. It shows that the DPP authorities cannot represent the mainstream public view.
The United Nations says it's concerned about Iran's missile attacks against what Tehran calls the bases of terrorists and Israel's intelligence service Mossad in Syria and Iraq. A UN spokesman said the Secretary General has stated that all security concerns between Iraq and Iran must be addressed through peaceful means and dialogue. Climate change could cost the world 14.5 million lives and an additional $12.5 trillion US dollars in economic losses by 2050, according to a recent World Economic Forum report. Regions such as Africa and Southern Asia will be particularly vulnerable due to their limited resources, such as infrastructure and essential medical equipment. The report calls on global stakeholders to take decisive and strategic action to reduce emissions and mitigate the negative health impacts of climate change. Apple's become the world's leading smartphone maker, knocking Samsung off the top spot for the first time in 12 years. Data from the International Data Corporation shows the American phone giant accounted for more than a fifth of phones shipped last year, while Samsung took a little over 19% of the market share. The duo was followed by Chinese phone makers Xiaomi, Oppo, and Transsion. And that's the news. I'm Shane Bigham.